Hey guys and dolls, welcome back. It's me, Cora. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a in-depth review and demonstration of the ColorMe foundation application system. So I first came across this product a few months back. I was contacted by the PR company, and I'm going to be totally blunt with you guys. When I saw this and in a PR email, and I need to maybe preface this with the fact that I get a lot of garbage PR emails. So I'm sort of skeptical at this point. I've been doing this for 8 years, so I see a lot of stuff. And so I tend to be pretty skeptical of something. So I came across this, the company emailed me, and I thought, that looks gimmicky as all hell. And the other thing that I discovered was that it vibrates. Maybe it's just me, maybe I just have a dirty mind, but my immediate thought was that this looks like a pleasure object, not like a foundation application device. Honestly, I expected when I looked up reviews for this for it to be like trolling reviews. Like, have you ever seen like those trolling reviews like on Amazon where people like write ridiculous things about gummy bears or whatever? I expected for this one to have like reviews on it that said something like,
the buzzing sensation is invigorating. This made my face glow like it hasn't since my divorce.
Something where it's like hidden, but like not really hidden. But a lot of the reviews for this were positive, which was very encouraging. I had the opportunity to actually meet Eric Jimenez, who is the creator of ColorMe, and he is so inspiring and so much fun, and he's from the Bay Area. So he demoed the tool for me, and I was just completely flabbergasted at how beautiful he made his skin look in like 5 seconds. So I decided, okay, I do want to go ahead and try this out. And I tell you all of this just to kind of get you in a mindset of where I was when I tried this. I was prepared to not be in any way at all interested in this. I was prepared to hate it, actually, because it just seemed gimmicky. It just seemed like one of those things that was just sort of like a strange, like, fly-by-night product. But after meeting him and being so inspired by him, but more importantly, to be honest, trying it, because, I mean, if he was cool, that's one thing, but if his product sucked, you know. So, I've been talking a little bit about it, but not showing you anything. So there are 2 versions of the ColorMe. There is the ColorMe Original, and there is the ColorMe Pro. And I'll get into some of the differences between these in just a second, but just kind of to go over it basically. This is the ColorMe. It is a foundation application device. It is $54, and it comes with 2 different sponge applicators. So you lift off the cover, and there is an option to have this one, which is the powder foundation sponge, or there is the liquid foundation sponge. I'm gonna be honest with you, not a big fan of the liquid foundation sponge. Your refills come in a 2-pack for $9. I personally just use the powder one for both liquid and powder foundation because I think that it works well with both. Wouldn't want to mix them back and forth. So if you have one that you use for liquid, you use it for liquid. You have one for powder, use it for powder. And I can demonstrate that for you right now. Here is the sponge that I use for powder. Here's the one I use for liquid. So they look a little bit different. Product gets absorbed into them a little differently, and they start to look, you know, just within one use, you can tell the difference between the 2. This works obviously for both liquid or powder foundation, and it vibrates as you apply it. The vibrating action just makes the foundation just glide over your skin like butter. It really refines the texture of the skin. It is phenomenal. Just flat and to the point. You guys are going to see me apply it in just a second, and you're going to be like, dude, and I'm going to be like, I know. But I do want to illustrate the ColorMe Pro just to give you an idea, because the ColorMe Pro is what I'm actually going to be using today. So this is sort of like a very knowledgeable review because I've used it for a long time, but it's also a little bit of a first impressions as well because I have not used the ColorMe Pro yet. So here is the 2 side by side. They look, in terms of like the shape and everything, they're identical. ColorMe Pro is a warm charcoal color that's very kind of, it's a very cool color to see in person. It's hard to describe. The original ColorMe is like a silvery pink, so they definitely look different. In terms of weight, there is a huge difference, and I believe that the ColorMe Pro has a stronger battery, and it's just generally made out of more durable materials because this is designed for professional or for heavy use. This easily weighs double what this one weighs. Easily. Just hands down, this one is definitely more, it feels more substantial. Not to say that this is cheap and shitty. To be completely clear, I was in love with this before this came along, and then this came along and I was like, oh, hey girl, how you doing? The ColorMe Pro has the same system where it has the battery operation. I want to let you guys hear audibly the difference. Here's the original ColorMe, and here's the ColorMe Pro. So you can hear that it's a little louder. The Pro Edition comes with 1 sponge on it and 2 extra sponges, which is great that you get those extra sponges. So you do get a little bit more. So in terms of the cost difference between the two, the ColorMe is $54. This is $68. It's because you get the extra sponges, it's really negligible, the cost difference. This is available at Ulta and I think Macy's.com as well. This one is only available on the ColorMe website at this time. And it's definitely stronger. You can feel it on your face. So this one definitely has more power behind it. And then the sponges for the ColorMe Pro have the black background. And the ColorMe Pro sponges are universal sponges that can be used either for liquid or powder, or you could just buy the original ColorMe sponges and use them. There's a slight difference, but it's not so major. So if you want to save a couple dollars and buy the ColorMe sponges instead of the ColorMe Pro, you could do that. ColorMe Pro sponges are $12 for each refill and the ColorMe sponges are $9. To get your sponge refills, I got mine at Ulta. They're $9 for 2. You can use the sponges for about a month unless you have acne prone skin, in which case they recommend replacing them every 2 weeks. That's what I've been doing. In terms of how you clean your sponges, this is important because you can't just submerge them. You can't wash them like you wash your Beauty Blender sponge every time you use it, hopefully. So in order to clean it, what you can do is get some alcohol on a little paper towel or something, right? And you can dab it. Main thing is to simply sanitize it. And you can actually, you can blot quite a bit of product off. Point is to not soak it, and simply to sanitize it, and the alcohol will do that for you. So now I want to show you guys the foundation demo. What I want to do is show you 2 different ways to use it. I want to show you it with powder foundation. I want to show you with liquid foundation because it's a little different, but it's mostly the same. And I just want to show you guys the results with both, which are pretty flawless either way. First thing that I'm going to show you guys is my sort of low-key foundation look, which is a lighter coverage concealer. This is the MAC Select Cover Up. It's a nice moisturizing concealer, great for under the eye. And then for powder foundation today, I'll be using the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, which is more of a medium coverage powder. This is sort of my, I want to pretend like I have nice skin foundation. So it doesn't necessarily give you that mask-like look like, say, MAC Studio Fix, which is boom coverage. This one's going to give us a more naturalistic look. Put some concealer on my areas where I need it. I have this weird red thing on my nose. I don't know. It's cold. I've been blowing my nose. A little bit of redness cover here and the zit. Okay. Oh, you could use the ColorMe to blend in the concealer. I haven't seasoned the sponge yet, and I want to use this sponge for powder, so I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab a little furless brush and blend in my concealer. Let me zoom this in so you guys can really see. Sorry. Show you all my zitty poos. So you can see, of course, now I'm bespeckled with concealer, but you can see that I have large pores, I have post-acne scars, I have current acne. I do not have perfect porcelain skin, but I'm going to be able to fake it with my foundation application and the ColorMe. So I know I'm putting concealer on before foundation, but you need it to, when you're doing powder foundation, you want to put on your liquid concealer first, otherwise it can get a little gummy. Occasionally you can get away with it, but this is sort of a best practice demonstration. So I have my concealer on. You can see it looks like a big old white halo around my eye at this point. So what you do is you have your compact foundation, turn on your ColorMe, and you're going to rub it across, tap off extra powder if you need to, and then I'm going to start applying that to my face. And I don't have even a primer on. Probably should have put one on, but I didn't. And just glide it over the skin. It's weird just putting it on one side of the face. Wow. Blend that a little bit. You can use the little tip end of it for places like around the nose. And then get a little more coverage on my zit here. Sort of pressing it on, and then I'm going to blend it out. A little extra on my cheek. And then set my concealer with what's left. We are zoomed out and you can see this is giving me crazy porcelain skin with a powder that isn't even necessarily a full coverage powder. And to be fair, this is my favorite powder and it does tend to look good pretty much all the time. But this made it so much easier to apply it. It looks so perfect. It gave me this beautiful canvas, like fake perfect skin. It's my real skin. Very, very quickly. It's pretty remarkable. I love it. The other thing that's great is that this is small and it's easy to travel with, so it's really great for doing stuff on the go. The other thing is when you're doing a powder foundation, you know, sometimes it kicks up a little extra powder. Sometimes you'll get it on your clothes and stuff. It doesn't happen with this. It just sort of like buffs it on like a magic angel. So now for the other side of my face, I'm going to be using my liquid foundation. This is the Naked Skin from Urban Decay. I love this stuff. Again, it's a medium coverage, so we're not going for like that super full coverage. We're going to be able to achieve it, but I just wanted to show you I wanted to show you a foundation that wasn't full coverage, so it wasn't just like, hey, this is a full coverage foundation, that's why it looks amazing. So the Naked Skin, I'm going to go ahead and get some of that on my little palette. Now the company says that you should apply the foundation directly to the sponge. I don't really love that. What I like to do is put it on the palette and then stick it in the sponge and then apply it from there. It's just what works for me. You do you, boo. I'm not going to put a primer on. We're just going to go with just the foundation application without primer. So go ahead and pick some up. And I do put it all over the sponge. And then what I do is I sort of press it in a few different spots. And you can see, I feel like the foundation goes even further with this when you do it this way. And then you can go in and start blending it out. You'll have a couple areas where, you know, you're going to need to go over it again because it sort of dragged the foundation around. It's all good. Get it around your nose. Get under the eye. Then areas where you need a little more, just press a little harder. No, there's no need to like super press. I'm just doing this to get a little extra coverage. As you're doing this, as you're applying it, you just need to sort of glide it on the skin. There's no need to like press hard or anything. This is what the liquid foundation looks like without any primer, without any powder over it. I still have foundation. I only dipped in it the one time. Typically this would cover my whole face if I used all of it. It just looks fantastic with very minimal effort. Now, I wouldn't normally just leave my face undone, so I will show you how I finish up. So again, we're going to do a little concealing under the eye. I don't need a ton of extra coverage because really this did it for me. I'm going to go ahead and blend that out with the ColorMe. I pat it a little bit more under the eye than I do all over the face. And then I'm going to go ahead and go over the liquid foundation with the Mineralized Skin Finish Natural and the ColorMe. So there you go. Crazy good coverage. I'm not going to bother with, you know, eyeliner and all that because I'm going to have to take this off since they're not, you know, perfectly even. I mean, both sides look good, but they're a little different. So I'm just going to take it off just to even it out because I got to film something else after this. But beautiful coverage from this. Whether you're using a powder foundation, you want a more naturalistic look, or if you want to go like full coverage, you can do that with the ColorMe. It does both, which is really cool. I definitely think that this is a really cool tool. And that rhymes, which is kind of gross. But I think that this is just fascinating. I think that it works really well. I'm so impressed with it, particularly because I didn't think I would be impressed. One thing I want to mention is the storage of this, in terms of what it will fit in. This is something I don't see people talk about a lot, and it's something I thought would be helpful. If you have a set of the Muji drawers, it won't fit in the 5 drawer or the 3 drawer, but if you have the 2 drawer, it itself won't fit with the top, but if you take the sponge and the sponge cover off, you can place the ColorMe in there and then just place them next to it in your drawer system. So that might be one way to store it. The other way that you can store it, of course, is just like display it on your vanity. This is just a little crystal dish, you know, have it out. That's definitely that's my preference, is to sort of have it out because it's kind of cool. Little conversation starter on your vanity. Definitely something that I was not expecting to love, and I truly, truly use it. I use it constantly. I've been saying for a while, I've been trying out some new things with foundation. This has been it. And more importantly, I took this on vacation with me, both when we went to Southern California for my birthday and when I went to Vegas. I had to have this. I was like, I'm not leaving town without, well, actually it wasn't this one. Technically speaking, it was the original. Now, in terms of which do I recommend, the original or the pro version? I personally recommend the pro version because it's got a nice weight to it. The battery is stronger. It's a little bit faster. Whether that is important or not, I don't know. But I feel like the pro version is kind of the way to go. It's about $14 more than buying the original ColorMe, but you do get the 2 extra sponges with this one. So it's about equal. I mean, it's a few dollars more if you consider like the price of the refills and everything like that. I just think that this one's the way to go. With that said, I was enamored and completely in love with this before the pro version came along. So if you want to get this one, it's not like you're buying an inferior product. The weight and the color of this one I think is a little bit better. But that's just my personal preference. Having a fantastic day. Definitely check out these tools. Read their other reviews. I mean, I'm not the only person who thinks that this is like the best thing since sliced bread. And that's it. That's all I got for you today. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in my next video. Remember to be vintage or tacky. Just be yourself. See you. Bye.